What's up, everybody? I'm Ole Moss. This is Equine Photo School and part 2 of the printer series, which is a sub-series of the booth series. So if you haven't watched part 1, go back, watch part 1. You're going to want to know about that stuff before we dive into part 2. But if you've already seen that, let's go. Here we are on Canon's website. We're using the comparison tool to compare the Pro 200, the Pro 300, and the Pro 1000. So as you can see, the Pro 200 and Pro 300 kind of look identical, and then the Pro 1000 is clearly like a little bit different of a machine. A lot of times in Canon stuff, like the smaller the number, the better it is. In their printers, the bigger the number, the better it is. So it's kind of backwards from other things that you know about Canon. So the first one is the Pro 200, and then this middle one is the Pro 300, and then the Pro 1000 is on the right here. As we scroll down through here, you'll see that the Pro 200 is currently selling for $600, then the Pro 300 is $900, and the Pro 1000 is $1,300. I like to just buy the best, most expensive thing and just be done with it for the most part, except for when it comes to printers. For printers, I need something that is going to be, like I said in the video, I want something that is going to be easily replaceable, something that's less expensive, and something that is fast. So we're going to get into the speed here next. So our speed here, right here, our speed, if we look at just 8x10s, because that's the most common thing we're going to be printing here, an 8x10 bordered color photo, or A4 size, which is pretty close to the same, is approximately 53 seconds. So these take twice as long to print as my old Pro 100. That thing was quick, man. I mean, there are faster printers out there for dang sure, but that one was pretty dang quick. It was reliable, it was great, and these are slower. And time isn't quite nearly as important now as it used to be, you know, now that I don't have my booth and I'm not doing Ole's Images stuff anymore at events. But if you're shooting events, you gotta have speed. I'm telling you, the number one thing we waited on in the booth was the printer. That's why I always had at least 2 of them, because speed is king. You gotta go fast. It's really important. The next thing we need to look at here is our ink type. And this, you know, don't let this just blow over your head. This is important stuff. We're gonna be looking at dye-based ink tanks for this Pro 200, and these other 2 are pigment-based inks. What does that mean to you, right? Probably not a whole lot. The dye-based inks are almost instantly dry. When I use them with that luster paper, it's almost instantly dry. As soon as it comes out and the printer drops the paper out, you can handle it. You can pull it off of there, you can pass it around, it's good to go. These other ones, I feel like they do take a little bit longer to dry. That's just, I haven't used them a lot, but the little bit I've been around them, I feel like that is the deal, is it takes a little bit longer. Plus that ink is more expensive. We have cheaper, the dye-based ink is less expensive, so that's important. We're trying to like keep our costs down. We're running a business here, so we want to keep that down. I feel like I said in the video earlier, none of our customers are ever gonna be able to say like, oh, I wish this was just like a little bit better quality print, right? As long as you got good pictures, they're well lit, they're shot at a low ISO, you're gonna get great images printed out of here. You're gonna get great prints. So the next thing we're gonna look at is the number of nozzles. This has 1,144. There's 7,000 and there's 18,000. So obviously the Pro 1000 has more nozzles, dramatically a lot more. But those 6,000 nozzles, I mean, they're gonna do a good job. They're gonna print a great print out of there. There's no problem. I don't see why that us doing what we do needs to get these higher end printers. It's just not necessary. I'm the first one to tell you, get the best gear out there, but there's just no way. And they're slower. Look, we're 2 minutes 45 seconds for the 8x10, 2 minutes 30 seconds for an 8x10 there. I mean, they're way, way, way slower. So over twice, almost 3 times longer to print an 8x10 with these more expensive printers. And speed is king, my friends. Speed is king. So we have wireless printing, we have fast photo printing, advanced photo printing. You can read all this stuff, but what's important here is they do borderless printing. That's important. I haven't printed a disc label in about 8 years, so Don't think that's necessary. Who's using CDs anymore, right? Nobody. So the important thing is that they do borderless printing, and they all do borderless printing. The rest of the stuff is just kind of fluff, not really important. Look, your drop size is the same on all 4 of these, and it just means you have more nozzles with these other ones. Cut and dry of it all is that the Pro 200 is the one that I would recommend that you get now. It's the most current. It's the lower end, quote unquote, of all of these printers, but it still does a miraculous job. It's still very, very high quality. I love it. The other ones, yeah, if you had a print of each sitting right next to each other, maybe you could tell the difference. Maybe you get your loop out and you're looking at them, you know, under the microscope here. You could tell the difference, I'm sure. But is your customer going to that's only given this one print and nothing to compare it against? No. Of course not. So you can go through here and look through some of these. You know, they show like this is cool. So the Pro 200 has this feature where you can do panorama mode. So it'll do however wide the printer goes, and then you can go up to 36 inches long if you manually feed it through the back. So that's super cool. You can get those long panorama prints if that's what you're into. It's like another thing that you can offer that's right there on site that, you know, you can charge a premium for, because nobody else is doing that. Here are the different kinds of ink, the different colors. And you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like in my last one. You've got black, a couple of different grays, a couple of blues, a couple of pinks, and a yellow. And that's great. Like, see how hard it is to tell the difference between which ink it is? That's why I put them in colored bags, so that my crew can go fast and it's easy for them to tell, and so they can understand, then they can go faster and faster and faster. So it's really, really important. These have great, super accurate colors. It's very, very important. Long-lasting prints here. I mean, this CLI 65 ink is great. We had the CLI 42 ink in the old one, and it's just amazing. It's just, I'm sure it's even better now than it ever was, as things do. You know, they just get better and better. You can see here, this compares it to my old printer, and it's a smaller footprint here. It's 15% smaller than the Pixma Pro 100 or the 10. Super compact in size. So this one has a little thing. Mine just had like 2 little buttons on it, basically, with a light, and you had no idea what those meant. You had to go to the computer to see, but see this panorama size lets you print up to 39 inches long. I think I might have said 36 earlier. Panorama size has the ability to print size up to 39 inches long, so that is huge. This has almost never happened, maybe 1 or 2 times in my old printer, that the paper would get in there kind of crooked a little bit. This will sense that, and it will make up for it, and it'll still print correctly. As long as you're loading your paper in there nicely and doing a halfway decent job, you're not going to ever have this problem. I mean, if you just like really screw things up, it'll fix it. You can do this like print preview kind of stuff. I just print straight out of Lightroom. You can go watch my course at equinephotoschool.com. It's free, getting started with photography course. I put a little mini course in that called Printing in Lightroom or something like that. So you can go and see my workflow there. This is one of the times when I'm like, go cheap and you'll be fine. Okay, I have print resolution highlighted here, and you're getting up to 4,800 by 2,400 DPI print resolution on this Pro 200 printer. I mean, that is amazing. It is ultra fine, detailed. I just don't think that anybody is going to ever complain about that. They're just going to be blown away that they're getting a print right there on site, because people are still blown away with that. Even the last event I shot, people were like, wow, you print on site? It's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it for 8 years now. You can do plain paper, a super high gloss, glossy, semi-gloss, matte, fine art, or others. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that you can print on in this. I used to do canvas prints and print out my own canvases and wrap them and staple them and the whole thing. It was really like too much. I don't recommend doing that. Send canvases through the lab, man, you'll be good to go. Oh, here's one thing that I almost missed entirely here. These are your different paper sizes. So now you can do square. I couldn't do square before, and you can do up to 13 by 39. So that's big. That is a huge piece of paper. But these will do 13 by 19 just like my printer did. Anything that you want to do there. So you can do 3.5 by 5 all the way up to 13 by 19 or 13 by 39. That's it. That is the short and sweet of it. I would go with that Pixma Pro 200. It's an awesome printer. It's the next level up from what I used to use. It's going to be perfect for your application in your booth. Get 2 of them if you can. If you can't, I get it. Get 1 at least for now, and then later on, get a second one. You're gonna be able to print that much faster. Your booth crew isn't gonna be waiting as long on the prints. It sounds like a minute is super fast, but it is not. When you got a customer breathing down your neck, that minute feels like an hour or an eternity, and you're just like, come on, printer, go a little faster. But that's it. So my old Pro 100 is still faster, and I like it, and I wouldn't change it, you know, until it dies. I'm not gonna change, but if you haven't bought a printer yet, go ahead and go for that Pro 200. It's the one for you. Also, this is not sponsored, by the way. None of these videos are sponsored. They're just not. I'm just doing this to help you out.